How can minimalism help during this time of crisis? If you think about it, a minimalist can be the first to die during an apocalypse. I actually heard this phrase while I was listening to the Mustard podcast. I mean, it can be true if we are living a minimalist lifestyle, do minimally. Being minimal for the sake of minimal, that can put us at an unprepared situation for this period of pandemic. And we might not have enough food for quarantine and don't have the right tool for us to disinfect our living space. Yet, as bad as underprepared, overprepared can cause unnecessary fears and also redundant spending. So, let me share with you guys how we can find the balance and how minimalism can help us during this pandemic. Minimalism helps us to focus on our needs instead of our wants. Especially during times like this, because the pandemic has not only impacted our health, it also affected our lifestyle, socially, psychologically, and also financially. Businesses are shutting down. Many people are told to take unpaid leave. Fresh graduates are having hard time finding employment. Or even worse, companies are planning or already started retrenching employees. This will deeply affect our purchasing power, and we should force ourselves to be intentional with our purchase during times like this and even times ahead. As a minimalist, it doesn't mean that I don't have any wants, desires, or the urge to buy certain things other people told me to buy. Because, like everyone else, we do get influenced by external factors. However, minimalism can help us to be prepared during this economic downfall by making us more purposeful with our purchasing decision right now, knowing what's our want and what's our need. Especially during situations where we are tempted to buy something new, we can always question ourselves, is it an essential or a luxury? And weigh, is it more important to spend on a shot of dopamine or to build your emergency fund for the unforeseeable future? Because we can never tell what's going to happen next. It's always better to be prepared for all kinds of weather and make sure we are not underprepared for this. And there's also a difference between prepared and over-prepared. We always mention that just in case is a taboo word a minimalist try to avoid. Yet during this time of uncertainty, just in case items seems to be essential. So, let us have a quick separation between just in case and another term created by the minimalist, just for when. Just in case are the things we buy because we guess we might use it in the unforeseeable future. On the other hand, just for when are things we purchase because we will certainly use them in the definite future. Personally, I see just for when as being prepared, while just in case as over-prepared. And it helps us to differentiate these two. It's understandable that the supermarket sale shot up rapidly during this period of uncertainty. Since we have to prepare ourselves with the necessities if we have to be quarantined, maybe 2 to 3 weeks of supply. That's intentional and being prepared, but it's irrational if we are getting things we don't usually use or consume. That's panic buying and overly prepared. Just because other people are stocking out 500 cans of beans doesn't mean we should follow. Just because things are perceived as scarcity on the social media, that doesn't mean it's actually scarce because our food supply has decreased. In fact, it's scarce because the demand went up due to panic buying and hoarding mentality. Not directly because of the virus, but because of our human psychology. And getting things we don't use or consume just in case we need it is just a waste of money. And not to mention, it's rather selfish because those who truly need them won't be able to find them. Panic buying can also cause price gouging, and we can see it on the ridiculous price on the face mask and the sanitizer. Toilet roll is another good example, and it's not just in where you are from. It's a phenomenon that runs across the world. And I will say it's nothing more than contagion effects. Panic because others are panicking, buying because others are buying. As bad as panic buying, unnecessary judgment are not needed. And it's rather redundant if we are judging someone based on what they put in their cart. We all have different levels of preparedness, and we have no clue who they are buying for or the size of their family. At times like this, let us be understanding and get through this dark time together. And if we can implement and adopt minimalism into our lifestyle, we can decipher what's just for when and remove just in case from our shopping list. So, we won't be spending on things we will never touch or hoarding on things that others need. Digital minimalism can help us psychologically. In today's world, we get our information from TV, website, or even social media. And if you observe, how many times are these news stories repeated? Probably more than once, but we still continue to consume them. Digital minimalism helps a lot during this anxious time because news and social media play an important role in fear-mongering, especially social media, where misinformation spreads with ease and also amplifies voices of panic. When we are constantly checking for updated news, we seek for hope and positivity in this situation. However, at the same time, it implants bottomless anxiety, and our minds are just structured to search for the next shocking news. We mindlessly consume repeated contents for hours. That's a lot of time wasted on negativity. Instead, we should detach ourselves from the excessive news. We can adopt digital minimalism by limiting our news and information intake. I know, the temptation is strong when we are bored and unoccupied. We tend to draw out our adult pacifier, which is our phone, to fill our void. It's tough, but challenge yourself not to check on any news during any parts of our day on purpose. We can schedule and check on the news once a day in the morning with a trustworthy news source for both local and international news. Any other news that come after can wait until tomorrow morning, and if it's an emergency that will affect you directly, I'm pretty sure it will reach you by email or a text from your phone. So, in order for us to make it happen, we need positive and value-added distraction to draw us away from the negative news during this period of self-isolation or social distancing. As an introvert, social distancing comes naturally to me, and I didn't know it's a skill I can use now. So I've created a list of 10 ideas you can spend your time positively at home, which you can check it out after this. Next is spending quality time with others. As a minimalist, we often emphasize on having less so we can focus more on what we value most. When we are working from home, we'll have extra time, and there's no other better time for us to express our love than now. And spending more time with our loved ones is the best time to create memorable moments. And if they are away from you, do take some time to call them, to express your love and care, even when you are apart. This event put us in a situation where it seems as if we don't have any other choice than slowing down and pulling us back in life. But let us make the full use out of this opportunity. In fact, we have the choice to make things intentional with the time we spend with our loved ones. So this is how minimalism can help us through this pandemic. I know there's many other ways we can survive this, but if you are already a minimalist, it's good to know how you can apply this kind of lifestyle in this trying time. If you're not a minimalist, it might be something that you want to implement into your life. How has minimalism helped you during this time of crisis? Share it with the rest of us down in the comment section below. I hope you can receive value from this. And if you do and enjoy watching this, you might want to consider subscribing to this channel and follow me on my Instagram. I'll keep you guys updated. And if you want to support this channel, you can check out my Patreon link at the description below. But if you're not able to support this as a patron, I understand it's going to be a tough time ahead of us. So don't worry about it. But your support by clicking the like button and sharing this with your loved one means a lot to me. So I'm really thankful for you to be here. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys again next week.